Hi guys, today we are doing a Korean makeup look using only products under rupees 500, so totally budget friendly and low effort beginner friendly. Starting off, I have already moisturized my face, so now I'm going in with sunscreen and I'm using the Foxtel one. It was my first time trying this sunscreen and it's so lightweight, non-sticky and leaves no white cast. It's just so good. My go-to is usually the Dermaco sunscreen, but I think this one is a great alternative too. Next, I'm going in with this Mars Zero Primer. I love how it smooths out my skin and blurs the texture, and it's super affordable too. For my base, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me foundation in the shade 128. I usually stick to my brush, but today I thought I would try a sponge to get a more natural finish. But as you can see, I was really struggling. मुझसे ये blend ही नहीं हो रहा था ठीक से. So yeah, back to my trusty brush. And just blending the foundation as I usually do. Also, don't forget to blend it down your neck too. And now I'm just going over it with a sponge to blend everything out and get a really smooth and natural finish. Now I'm using my Swiss Beauty concealer. This is my third tube, and of course one of my favorites and super affordable. It's full coverage, so a tiny bit goes a long way. So just 2 dots under the eyes and around my mouth like this. Now I'm not gonna blend this right away. I'll wait a few seconds, and now I'm blending it using my brush again. If you want coverage, use a brush instead of a sponge, but honestly you can use whatever works best for you and you are most comfortable with, whether it's a brush or a sponge. For brows, I'm using this gel from Swiss Beauty. You know, Korean brows are usually straight and really soft with a minimal arc, not too heavy or very sharp brows. And since my brows are naturally kinda thick, so I'm just brushing them up with this gel to get a similar soft feathery natural look, just like Korean brows. But of course you can fill in your brows if you want, but I would suggest using these brow gels instead of the soap like the one I'm using. They are much easier and more convenient, and I feel work better too. Here I'm using the Lakme setting powder to set the base. I'm applying it under the eyes, on the lids, around my mouth, and just a bit on the forehead. Now I'm using the Wet n Wild contour palette, and I always take a bit longer on my nose. First, with an angle brush, I'm just placing the contour. I'm starting from the inner corners of my brows and kind of doing the C here and taking it down on the sides like this, and under the nose bridge like this. And now with a small fluffy brush, I am blending everything out. Just watch as I do it and follow that. Make sure to blend it well ताकि harsh और weird ना लगे. Also contouring the cheekbones, jawline and forehead very softly. Now for eyeshadow, I'm using the same contour shade I used on my face. I'm applying it all over the lid as a base, then just deepening a little on the outer corners to give some subtle depth. Now for the lower lash line, I'm just using whatever product is left on the brush. Now I am using this black eyeshadow on my lower lash line with the small angular brush. I am starting from the middle of my eye, not from the inner corner, and dragging the shadow outward, leaving a small gap like this at the outer corner so it doesn't completely connect with the upper liner. This creates a tiny V-shaped gap. I've seen this in many Korean makeup looks. They leave a little gap on the lower lash line. I guess it's to make the eyes look bigger. So I'm doing the same. Here I'm using the same black eyeshadow as my eyeliner. I'm doing a thin straight liner, not winged, and keeping it close to the lash line. For Aguesal, I'm using this brown shade from the Mars palette and starting from the middle, just following the natural shadow. You can also squint your eyes to see exactly where to apply. And just above that, I'm using a white shade from the same Mars palette to highlight the Aguesal area. Place it right between the lower lash line and the Aguesal contour line to make the Aguesal pop. For mascara, I'm using this viral Mars Double Trouble mascara. This is such a great affordable option. It works really well. Definitely a must try. But it's not itna zyada waterproof, so keep that in mind. For my blush, I'm using this shade from the Nicka K palette. ये actually eyeshadow palette है, but मैं as blush भी use करती हूँ, and it's so pigmented. Then I'm taking another blush. This one is from Sugar Cosmetics shade 03. Applying it at the center of the cheek and lifting it slightly upwards like this. I am also adding a bit on my nose across the bridge and chin. It creates a super cute flushed look, and over the cupid's bow to get that soft diffused effect on the lips. Now I am using the Wet n Wild highlighter. I am literally so obsessed with this highlighter. I love how stunning it looks on the skin. It's such a gorgeous shade. I am applying the highlighter straight along the bridge of my nose with the small precise brush, and now diffusing it with my finger and just a touch on the tip like a tiny dot. I am also highlighting the inner corners of my eyes and the agiosal area like this. Also the cheekbones and the center of my cheeks like this, and the chin. Now for lips, I am using these two shades from Mars, using shade 17 and applying it just above the cupid's bow like this. Also lining my lower lip in a round U shape and adding a bit in the inner part of my upper lip. Here I am applying the shade 16 only to the inner part of my lower lip, and now I am just blending these areas like this. These lipsticks from Mars Cosmetics are so good. I absolutely love the formula and the texture also. I am topping it off with this transparent gloss from Mars, applying it just to the center of my lips and on the cupid's bow. And that's it, we are done.